No. Okay, and, if you all can come back here and sign in and pay and get your ticket for 2 days, if you want to do it for 2 days or 1 day.
I guess we weren't ready.
Yeah, I need to wait until more people are at their seats. I'm sorry. Well, because the data that I'm going to give you is going to cause some of your brains to go on lockdown. So I'm going to need to give you an opportunity to stretch and breathe. The first order of business today is to go over how to use a dictionary, because most of us were not taught in school how to properly utilize a dictionary. Once you understand that we are speaking English, which is not our language, it never was, which is a spell and a curse, and I wrote a news article in the Al-Moroccan Star. I understand that the sister is going to give those out as donations one day. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. But, the brothers say today. Those of you that are here today, they're going to give you a copy of an article that I wrote in the Al-Moroccan Star newspaper to expose what English is and what it has done. But once you get done with today's lecture, you will have a lot of clarity on some of the problems with English. The first thing you need to know, however, when you're utilizing a dictionary is how to read the tool. Hopefully, you were told that the regular dictionary that you received or picked up for this class should have brackets in the dictionary definitions. They look like these, open boxes. If your dictionary does not have brackets, you don't have anything that will do you any good today. So look and see if your dictionary has brackets. In some dictionaries, they're immediately behind the word. Let's say the word is bad. It'll have this, and then it'll start out with an open bracket. It'll have a few things inside, which our minds have gone on lockdown and tend to see and not see those. You overlook them. In other dictionaries, it's almost the very last thing after maybe the 20th definition down the page. Way at the bottom somewhere, you'll find the brackets. Is there anyone that does not see them yet and needs me to come and show you where they are? Okay, yours does not contain them. It doesn't have brackets. This is slang dictionary, which is better than nothing. This is slang dictionary. Here's your
We don't have to say every word.
Excellent. Is your hand up? It looked like it was going up. Your hand is up. Your hand is up. You have to know what the signs inside of the bracket mean. Otherwise, you're going to just be in brackets, looking at brackets, and have no clue what you're looking at. Anytime you see the letter E period, G period, that means for example. Anytime you see the lettering I period, E period, that means that means. Whenever you see this equals for example.
Okay.
I period, E period equals that means. Or by that we mean. Or that is to say. Anytime you see C period, F period, that means compared to. I'm blocking the view over here. Okay. Anytime you see a little c in front of a number like 1170, that letter means it's somewhere around about 1170. So little c means somewhere in the vicinity of.
Like circa?
Circa. Well, it is circa,
same thing.
but it means somewhere around about.
That's, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. Okay? So somebody says, well, you know, I think the movie came out in circa 1980. Somewhere around 1980. Could have been 79, could have been 81, could have been 82, somewhere in the 80s. Okay? Not exactly, not specifically, but somewhere thereby. Can I erase these? Because I need to add some different things. I see people still, let me just keep writing, because some people are still writing. Anytime you see O-H-G, that means Old High German.
Okay.
Anytime you see M-F, that means Middle French. Anytime you see L, that means Latin. LL means lowered Latin. VL means vulgarized Latin. A plain G means German. And let me know if I'm going too fast. And don't forget, this is being recorded. VL means vulgarized Latin.
LL.
Lowered Latin is what LL means. MF is Middle French. OE is Old English. It's very important that you guys know what this stuff means, because today I'm going to show you some stuff, and this is how you are going to learn how to really look a word up. If you don't know how to do this, you've never looked a word up. Is your hand up, sir? Okay. Look like you went like this for a second.
Yes.
Yes, sir. The G means German. O means old. So OL would be Old Latin. NL would mean New Latin.
Is there a specific dictionary that I should deal before?
The oldest dictionary you could find that had brackets in it.
Bracket to.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about the brackets.
And I did give that information. I'm not sure what, how you were giving it.
And I did put it on the flyer too.
That it needed to have brackets in it? You put that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
OHG means Old High German. Even though a lot of people are talking, I have a very big mouth. I have a voice that carries across the room, even without a mic. You should be able to hear me when I start talking. I can usually talk over everyone else.
Did
Yes.
you say, Vocal Latin?
VL means vulgarized. Vulgar.
Oh, okay.
Vulgar. Vulgarized Latin. Because Latin, even though it was not our original language, and when I say our, I mean melanated people, it originally was our language. Originally it belonged to us. Europeans lowered it and vulgarized it. So don't let anybody tell you about Ebonics and how you're messing up the King's English. It came from you. You mess it up whenever you feel like it. You do what you want to do with the language because you started all of it. Yes. LL means lowered Latin. I need to give you guys this one too. GK means Greek. And I'm going to add one more. Now at this point you should kind of be able to start figuring some of these out on your own. But squeeze it in here. S-A-N-S means Sanskrit. So what do you think J-A-P means? All right, so we all on the same page. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is am.e?
Am.e. Did I write that?
No, I was asking because I see something.
It's capital
It's
A.
probably American English.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
what
it's
it is.
capital
Yeah,
A,
okay.
small m.
I was just trying to...
American English. Okay, now that we're all on the same page, we're going to move on forward. Is it possible for me to erase this at this point? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
Black market, you have a lamb.
Do we have a black dry marker, sweetie?
I'll try to find one.
I guess it'll make it a little easier for people to,
What's the essay?
SANS means Sanskrit. Sanskrit. Hindustani Sanskrit.
Is there abbreviation for Arabic?
Arabic is AR. AR.
Dictionaries usually list what their symbols are if you're really using your tools.
Well, that's true, but how many people have used these tools? How many people even talk about the tools? Most of our people went to school. If the teacher asked you to, okay, here's 20 spelling words, I want you to write sentences, we were so busy trying to hurry up and finish, we just looked at the first definition, wrote a sentence, went to the next word, first definition, wrote a sentence. We never read it, listen to me. We never read more than we needed to read, thank you, sweetie, to just make sure we understood enough to write a sentence. And that's really all we were taught. But that's not how they teach their children. See, their children were taught what we're learning today. And I'm in my 40s, and I think I was in my 40s when I learned it. Is it okay to erase this? Anyone have any objection? Oops. Okay, my pouch is bumping into this as well as my feet, so let me take my pouch off so I don't knock the whole board over. All right, one of the things that we need to know about English is that it is an equivocal language. I would like for you all to turn in your dictionaries to the word equivocal. E-Q-U-I-O, nope, my bad. E-Q-U-I-V-O-C-L. Equivocal.
You said CL.
Did I say CL? See?
You wrote it.
I need to do a treatment. Frequently, I'll think something, and what I'm thinking and what I'm saying are not always the same. I have to try to get my brain in sync with my mouth. E-Q-U-I-V-O-C-A-L. Equivocal. It's very important that you look this up. See, this is what's taking a little bit of the time. Now, while you guys are turning there, I'm going to go and start reading because we got a late start. Is that okay? Or do you want me to try to wait until most of you are on the page?
Go.
Wait, don't tell me. Yeah, it is being recorded. Okay. Equivocal means lots of things, and some of your dictionaries will tell you exactly what it means, and some of them will not. The most important thing you should know about equivocal language, which is what English is this. And this is an old definition out of an old dictionary. Equivocal language is subject to two or more interpretations, and it is usually used to mislead. The dictionary specifically said that. It is used to mislead, to deceive, to confuse, and it is of uncertain nature or disposition toward a person or thing. It is of doubtful advantage, of doubtful genuineness, and of doubtful moral rectitude. That's what an equivocal language is. That's what English is. That's why when our ancestors used to say, the pale man speaks with forked tongue, that's what they were talking about. He says something and it's not usually what you think it means. Okay? All right. Now, I kind of want to share, turn to grammar. Because one of the things that you learn about English is what? Grammar. And you go to what? Grammar school to learn grammar. Grammar is spelled G-R-A-M-M-A-R. Grammar. Now, what you need to understand about the word grammar, is there anybody here that's ever seen this show that comes on weekly about the three sister witches called Charmed? Yeah. And they always talk about this book called the Grimoire, or the Dark Book of Shadows. That's another definition of the word grammar. Turn in your dictionary to the word grammar, and if it doesn't say it in the definition, it should say it in the brackets, that the word grammar is the same word as the word glamour, G-L-A-M-O-U-R. They're exactly the same. The word grimoire, I'm going to erase equivocals, that's all right. Because once you get this, see, because I don't have a lot of specifics and answers. That's what Omari is for. What I'm here for today is to get you clear. Once you have clarity in the concepts and you can see the big picture, then when people like Omari start shooting data at you, you're not sitting there and being bombarded with data. Once you have clarity and you can see the big picture, then when somebody starts throwing data at you, you can see it because now the fog is removed. That's what I do. I help people get things a little more clear. So I don't have a lot of specifics, but I can get you clear. Okay? All right. There's another word called grimoire, G-R-I-M-O-I-R-E. These three words are identical. Grimoire is G-R-I-M-M-A-I-R-E. And grimoire, G-R-I-M-O-I-R-E. These words are identical words. And when you look all of these words up in the dictionary, if you get to the brackets, then when you start looking at the derivations of the word, you will see that they're one and the same. So when you send your children to, and you went yourself, to grammar school, you were really being placed in a situation where you were being cast the most vital spell on yourself that could ever be cast. Grammar school is glamour school, grammar school, grammar school, and grimoire school. The evil book of shadows. You were put a spell on, and you've been all messed up ever since. And the vowels A-E-I-O-U are also a very key part of that. And you learn how not only to learn and memorize it, but you probably have a song that you used to sing it and say it to memorize it. And you will see that when you get the article that they're going to hand out. I'm not even going to cover that, just read the article. It's only one page. It took up the whole back page of the article, of the newspaper, when I wrote it. And what is it called? I think the article is called The Spell That Cursed My People. I wrote it. Okay. Now, who has looked this word up? Because I'm going to tell you what it says here. This is what I got out of the dictionary on these words. The word grammar means evil book of shadows, smoke and mirrors, a mask, magic, enchantment, witchery, occult learning, a layer of dust or grime, fierce or cruel, and it also means epistle, E-P-I-S-T-L-E. That is what the dictionary had to say about this word. When you look up grammar, if you get into the who has it on the page? When you look in the brackets, you will find one or more of the variations in the brackets. And then when you go look up the variation, like this word, you'll see this one in the brackets. You look up this one, this should be in the brackets. You look up this one, this should be in the brackets. One or all of these should be in the brackets. As you go, you'll see they're all the same. And I don't have time to wait for you guys to all go through all the words. I'm just here to give you clarity of concept so you can figure this out. Yes, sir?
What year dictionary are you getting those definitions from?
I've gotten these from many, many dictionaries, but the dictionary that I like the most is the Random House College Dictionary, not Random House Webster's. They're not the same book.
What year is that?
This one I think is probably a 78, 76, 73, 78, something like that. I think those pages may have fallen out of mine.
That's in the front of that book?
Huh?
The front of your book?
The front has nothing on it, but it's a Random House College. Usually, if you find it intact, it'll have a red desk cover over it. But at a certain point, Webster's took over. And Webster's is the worst thing going. This one is in 1973. Huh?
How does funk and wagon rape and...
I don't know. I don't know much about them. Is that what you have? It's better than none.
No, I don't. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't know. From what I remember, it's probably not that great. I'd say Oxford's, but they're very expensive. Usually if you get a good Oxford's dictionary, which most European households have, they come several volumes in the dictionary. There may be a whole book just for A, another one for B and C. So by the time you get an Oxford dictionary, you have what looks like an encyclopedia set. And it costs a lot of money.
Bowles Bookstore has a 13-volume set sitting in its window right now for $650.
Right. And you know, if you have it, get it. If you can afford it, get it. They're probably the best. But if you can't afford it, then find an old Random House that's not Webster's. Webster's should be the last thing you get, and get that only if you can't find anything else. Huh?
Webster's Vermont.
Yeah.
Set it up.
Actually, they're a lot of the problem. That's why they went about the affairs of buying out and taking over most dictionary companies, including Random House, Merriam, and a bunch of other people's. Webster just seized them all up and said, oh no, we got this covered. All right. Now, there's something else that I wanted to go over. How many people in here have heard that you are black? How many people here know? How many of you know why you're not? I'm interested in hearing why you're not. Why aren't you black?
Why am I not black? Because
Yeah.
black is the color. I'm not black. I'm black.
Okay, and why aren't you black?
Through European
And I want to know if anybody here is going to tell me the true reason why you're not black. And no, you can't tell me because you know.
You look at the dictionary definition of black makes you not want to be. You don't want to be associated with that word.
You're almost there, but not quite accurate.
Because number one, black is a color, like you said. But if you get into the physics of color, then the reflection of the color is what you see. And therefore, if you appear black, it means you're reflecting the light. And actually, you're white.
He's on point, but he didn't say it in a way that most people can get it. So, turn to the dictionary definition of the word black. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you why you're not black and why the word cannot possibly apply to you based on their definition. Now, frequently when the word is used to describe so-called black people, you know who they're talking about. But by definition, it's not even remotely possible for you to be black because the word black means bleached up and pale. It also means bleak. These words are one and the same word. Now get in the brackets of the word black, and I want you to see where it says Old English. It'll say, oh, there'll be a bunch of different things. It'll be B-L-A-K, B-L-A-E-C, and so on. But B-L-A-E-C should say Old E in front of it, Old English. Now, if you get to the word bleak and bleach, and you get in the brackets, they will say O-E-B-L-A-E-C, which means to whiten up, brighten up, lighten up, to be bleached up and pale in color. Ooh-wee. Now, who sees it? I don't even see anybody turn it. I mean, who sees it? Who doesn't see it? Yes, ma'am. Right. Right. Is there anyone that doesn't see what I'm talking about yet?
what is AS?
Oh, Anglo-Saxon. And SCOT is Scottish. Yummy is Middle English. Huh?
Bleak means pale.
You see that?
Yeah.
But do you see in the brackets where these words are, one or all of these combinations of these words are there? Because you have to look in the brackets.
It's a white.
Yes,
white.
yes. The one, the OE, bleak.
O-E-B-L-A-E-C should be in the black brackets for all three of these words.
3 of them is in there.
I just want to make sure you guys are rolling with me. Because see, I can stand here all day and tell you you're not black, it's not possible for you to be black. By definition, you're not black. You have to see that.
Yeah, that's for real. I know.
Okay, so by definition, is it possible for you to be, most of you, to be black? By Old English definition, where the word came from.
It's a misnomer.
White. See bleach.
What's the matter, brother?
This is white, see bleach. What you call it?
Like I said, I can get you clear. So when people like Moores and whoever and the brother here, Omari, start saying, our people are not black, no matter what they're saying, you have a good reason why you know now that you're not. Okay, and I can give you some reasons in the color thing when we get into the law dictionary why. Are you with me, brother? Because you look, do you have a dictionary back there? You, sitting like this with your arms crossed. Yes. Did you look in the book? Did you see it? Is there anybody here that thinks they're black now?
No way.
Well, it's okay that you're confused because you're under the grammar. You're under the glamour of grammar. English is not your language. You speak it, but you didn't know it. Now I'm giving you some ideas how you can start figuring it out without me. Okay? Now let's go to another word. Turn to the word nice. N-I-C-E. How many of you, when someone tells you, you know, it was really a pleasure meeting you, you're very nice, you think they said something good to you? Now you see why I said you had to have the books, because you were going to think I was coming from left field and making this stuff up unless you saw it with your own eyes. The word nice, when you get in the brackets, it means stupid, foolish, ignorant, and you do not know. Do you see it? I mean, a lot of these words that people call simple words, those are the reasons why our people are messed up. Prime example, Michael Jackson.
He's black.
He black.
That's not. But he is black now. That's not where I was going with it. Is there anybody that does not see that the word nice is not a good word to apply to anyone that you really care something about? Yes, sir.
Actually, the brother in the hood actually saying, I got this person nice or whatever. Actually, just what you said, I'm calling you foolish.
Yeah, but if you know that you're spelling, see, when you're melanated, Omari and I were talking about this the other day. Europeans do not have what you have. They do not have the superconductor called melanin, or they do not have enough of it. Because you're melanated, and the more melanated you are, the more better, you are what is called a walking superconductor. Melanin has the capacity to absorb all forms of energy and frequency, light, sound, tone, and color, transmute them, transmogrify them, and then re-emit them as another form of energy. And the more melanated someone is, the more appropriate they are at doing it. And appropriate means one's own. So, when you look out at the world and you see the condition that it is in, and right now it really is a big mess. It's in a very big mess because the most melanated people in the world are in a mess. Right. Because melanated people, because they are superconductors, have the power to take energy and create or destroy something. So everything that's going on in the world today is going on because melanated people project it out. Europeans, they have the ability to trick and deceive and use what is called violence. The word violence means, if you look it up, it means distortion of fact. If you look it up in the dictionary, the word violence means distortion of facts. Don't just sit there, you guys. Turn these pages so you can see what I'm saying. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Don't believe that I'm telling you the truth. Look and see, and then nobody can ever come and take that away from you because you saw it yourself, you know for yourself. What Europeans have is the capacity, as the Bible says, to use violence and force and shed blood to cause my people to err. And my people suffer for lack of knowledge. We perish for lack of knowledge because we're nice. Now, I'm not saying we're crazy. We're under the grammar or the glamour of grammar. But what they have the capacity to do is create an image that comes through the textbooks you look at in school, the magazines you read, the newspapers you read, the radios you listen to, or the television programs, and they call it what it is. It's a program. Your brain is a supercomputer. They program what goes in, and as a melanated individual, they lay out their plan. Okay, what is it they say if you want to have, they ask you, so where do you want to be in the next 10 years? If you've already written out a plan, well, in 1 year I want to be here, in 5 years I want to do this, and in 10 years I want to own my own home. In 10 years, if you own your own home, is that a prophecy? No. That's a specific goal. Europeans have written out specific goals and projections and their target dates for which they want things to occur by. But they do not have the power to manifest the things they want and make them real unless they shoot them through the semiconductor of melanin, which is you, by way of their medium, because television, radio, magazines, books are a medium. That means they're the middle passage of what they send a thing through to the superconductor that is you, and then you project back the image, and it was programmed into your computer to make their reality come to be. So you create and destroy the reality that you live in every day. And you have the power to do that, and the darker you are, the more you have the power to do that. And I love this brother's color. God, I wish I looked like him. And for years, they probably had this brother thinking that there was something wrong with him because he was dark. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you nigga, you black, you ugly. You know, a lot of people get in this whole craziness and thinking that lighter and brighter should be better. Oh, I like her, she's got light skin, she's got good hair. Whatever that means. The nappier your hair is, the better. Because again, them spirals, which is your nappy little kinky spirally hair, are superconductors. If you take an automobile that has a radio and it has a straight, pale-colored silver antenna for the radio, which is like blonde, straight hair, and then you need you have a cell phone that needs more power to get over all of that, then you got to take a little black, nappy antenna and stick on the car in order to use your cell phone, because you have to supersede whatever the straight, shiny silver antenna can do. So, your little dark, nappy hair is much more powerful than any straight blonde hair. Don't get it twisted. I mean, yeah, do get it twisted. Exactly, do get it twisted. I'm glad you caught that. Back to Michael Jackson. Remember, he was a very, turn to the word bad. Michael Jackson has a song out called Bad. Is that accurate? Yes. And before the song Bad, Michael Jackson was more masculine. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Michael did not know that by doing concerts and repeating the song Bad at a show or on stage and repeating it over and over again, being melanated caused a spell that made Michael what he is today. When you look up the word bad and you get into the brackets, and how many of you have sons or know people that have sons and say, man, that shows a bad little boy. Do not ever call any little melanated boy bad. The word bad means effeminate and hermaphroditic. Get in the brackets. The word bad means a hermaphrodite or womanish man. Is that what you see in the dictionary?
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
do you see how Michael has caused himself being melanated? And when you are melanated, what is it that the scriptures say? Ask and you shall receive. You speak it out and you make it reality because you spoke it into existence. And this is something that dark-skinned people have the power to do. He kept saying, I'm bad, you know it. And today, he's bad, and you know it.
And you know that.
He has become a womanish man.
He's even wearing the veil over July.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What about James Brown?
Well, he's kind of womanish, too. I mean, you know, not to the extent of Michael, but, you know,
You've been on the other
and
side.
today, see, brothers used to be some of the most powerful entities walking until back in, was it the 70s? Everybody was like, yeah, I'm bad, because of James Brown. And now, we have so many brothers that are swinging in both directions, which is fine, that's your business, everybody should do what works for them. But they're swinging in both directions, and they have these undercover closet affairs going on with other men and with the wife. If brothers knew what we were calling one another and what we're speaking out and causing to occur, we, especially as sisters and mothers, would not ever call our men this word. You understand? Because you made your sons. If you have a son that turned out to be gay, you probably called him this one too many times. Okay? Are you guys clear? I'm just trying to get you clear.
All this word.
Europeans knew we had that power. They knew they did not have it. That's why they didn't allow us to read until they finished reconstructing all the writings, which they call the Reconstruction era.
Right.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, that's for a womanish man. What about for man like woman?
I have no idea. You find that word and call me and let me know.
Look up that Georgia.
I told you, I can only give you the little bit I know. I don't know everything. I don't know a whole lot. I only know some things. And what I know is not that much, but the little bit that I know, everybody else should know it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, the brother, when I came in, a young brother gave me something very beautiful that was like a Blackmore thing. Turn to the word Blackamoor in your dictionary. B-L-A-C-K-A-M-O-O-R. Now, when you look in the brackets, it'll tell you that it is an offensive, derogatory term that is unexplained.
Unexplained variation of black men.
It's an unexplained variation of Blackmore. You know why? Now you know why it's unexplained. And it'll show little B-L-A-C-K black with a capital M-O-O-R more. But it should also say any dark-skinned person. So any dark-skinned person, and I've seen dictionaries that say any dark-skinned person, sometimes with thick lips and nappy hair. I think Oxford said that. But the reason it's unexplained is because back in those days, they knew that black meant bleached up and pale, so they couldn't understand why or how you could take the term black, which means bleached up and pale, and stick it in front of more and call it any dark-skinned person. Because it don't add up. Why doesn't it add up? Because black means bleached up and pale. And more means any dark-skinned person. So once you put them together, it's not that easy to explain it. So there you go. An oxy, more, on. Right. Left. Left. We don't want to be right. We want to be left. Got it? Oh, we'll get there. Okay, now, I don't want to get insulting, but before we get into the Strong's exhaustive concordance, because now I've shown you how to use a dictionary. I hope. Now you guys know how to look up a word. Yes? Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to look up words in the Strong's exhaustive concordance. But before we go there, I'm going to show you a word that's going to probably insult some people. That's why I wanted you to have your own stuff. So you could see this for yourself. Otherwise, you would get up and walk out of the room on me because I'm going to insult some people. We're going to research the word Jesus. Now, in Latin, Who knows that there really is no such thing as J except in new language? J is the newest letter under the sun. In ancient times, there could have been no one walking named Jesus because there was no such thing as J in the ancient times.
Right.
So, we're going to try to correct that part with even that little simple piece. So, if there was no one walking around called Jesus in ancient times, then who are you guys calling on? Who are you praying to?
Zeus.
Now, there's a problem with that. In Spanish, how do you say this? Jesus. Look up Zeus and get into the brackets, if your dictionary has them, which is Z-E-U-S. And I'm getting ready to mess you guys up a little bit if you're Christian. I don't know who is one in here, and it's not my intention to insult. But just like you know that you're not black anymore, I hope you'll know you shouldn't call Jesus either in a minute. Who said mess him up? That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to mess you up. I'm here to fan away the fog so you can see. Brother, you need to be sitting by somebody with a dictionary. You all up in an island? Okay. Now, do you have brackets for your Jesus or not?
No, they didn't give us any.
And you know why?
Oh, it's got your Greek.
Because they know what it is, and in case you ever figured out how to use the brackets, they didn't want you to know what it was. But I'm going to show you anyway. Turn to...
Oh, not for Zeus, but for Jesus.
Turn to... there's something in the brackets for Jesus?
No, the only thing that has in the bracket for Jesus is this one.
Middle English.
It's Middle English, Old English, and Latin, Lower Latin,
Lower Latin.
and Greek,
And that's it.
I, with the I. And then in the Hebrew, Yeshua.
Now, Yahshua,
Synopticated.
I'm not going to get really deep into that. I'm going to leave that as your assignment to find out. The word Yahshua means I am salvation. So, when you want to be saved, you need to look towards yourself. Look inside yourself for your salvation, because the spark of Creator is inside you. You were born with it. You came directly from the Creator through your mom's womb, and you were unified with the Creator of creation from the moment you stuck your little head out. You did not need to reach out to any blonde-haired, blue-eyed anybody to call for salvation, because you are connected to the Savior already. But that's not where I was going. Yes.
What is IHS? That's the Greek.
IHS.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, because I got Aramaic, Joshua, Jah salvation, they say, see also IHS.
Well, if it says CIHS, then turn and see
I
IHS.
got H dot S.
Turn to it. It's probably in the dictionary just like that. If it says CIHS, it's probably in there just like that. That is probably the Hebrew letters for it, from right to left. It's probably, what does the I look like? I know I and Y are the same. Y should look like that. H should look like that. And I don't remember what S looks like. For Hebrew? And I don't remember. Well, y'all need to talk to this sister back here. She's real clear on her Hebrew. I used to know it, but I'm fuzzy. I've been out of touch. But turn to D-E-U-S. And when you get to D-E-U-S, in the brackets, it should say Zeus. We want to get you guys clear. And God, I have so much to go over. I hope we can get through it all in this little time.
All I have is Jesus as ex machination. I don't have.
In your brackets, it doesn't say Zeus. Does it say it in mine? D-E-U-S?
The bracket says Latin,
It's all
God, G-O-D with G.
Okay. Is there more than one Zeus?
Circa, Greek, Zeus, Sanskrit.
So it does say Zeus. It does say Zeus. Okay. But it says Zeus under Zeus, right?
Zeus under Zeus.
Okay, now, look at the word just below it, D-E-U-C-E. When you get in the brackets, it'll say D-E-U-S, but D-E-U-C-E means devil.
Bad luck.
But deuce and Zeus are the same word, and deuce, D-E-U-S and Z-E-U-S are one and the same word.
Lord,
You also get an X pronunciation on that song.
But D-E-U-S and D-E-U-C-E are also one and the same word.
dice is in there.
Deuce, dice.
Word dice.
Yeah, but there are two different